yɛde hyɛ say car yetwie tututu eho to no saa nhyehyɛ no yɛde hyɛ aseɛ enne me did say what ho asɛm
pa esi so ko ye o DVL ana o de a charge
ukɔkɔyɛ ɛtroye a wobɛyɛ wo DVL ho no ana ɛsɛ yɛate afiri mu yɛde bibia bɔ mu ama kama wo ho no mo
nti say him fa na etua no because they make kind of almost say answer na betimi ayo DVL just say we show say we tua sa tax no or say what's it saying driver and you all persons who are required to pay the emissions tax are to register and pay the levy on the Ghana government platform only. Into one motor crossing as well. And under section 4.4 of the Act 112, a person requires to issue a road use certificate, driver and vehicle license DVLA and other testing centers shall demand evidence of payment of the levy before issuing a road use certificate. The GVR in a public notice published today in Daily Graph urged all vehicle owners to comply with the directive.
And as a government platform, Nedia, so who crookituum crana, say, Abaya China Yenwe, when assembly no come bit me up while Masani, my waiting me.
They be decrying yen. I feel number Befaka assembly, may ye monka
near ye bedi. At one day, I was here, tree at the
patriot one, I see it dressing.
At was here, tree, mamma,
I see it dressing emissions tax.
Car no a wutry no tutu free to all banner. And no one say we must such a yeno. Yes, say a we must such a yeno, and near messay.
And one we should be dear, so some called emissions tax from more.
So,
because of almost we should be dear, it would see the courier. What am I say? Woma omo ye plastics omo buy product e chire ne ebeka no omo hye no omo yi bola omo hye bola no dump sites obeko na wusie dem eno no kwa ni ntutuo no mu oden chen car me ba cho edi ebe ntina omo ntimi enchire car kora the emissions beba ka bi wo ha wonyi emissions brand new cars or to brand new car na say go be use a who use a insure create me free exhaust number cars a wo do won such bra exhaust num na emu ayetun ono no yi emissions are deadly to the environment. So why don't they categorize the vehicles? No muntimi nya adwuma kakra se nkrofobia se wo ko DVL nkrofobia o car no de beba no na engine no rings na wu inti no den wo de nanti a intutuo de free mu ba. It should be a punitive tax. And any say tax a across board obi entia, because a car na and a cars na na monye ni nyina na yi tutuo. By all means ye be use cars, but a punitive tax say obi or no no ne car na yi tutuo. It's not every car. It's not every car na yi tutuo. I say so be a tax across board and some say so look at almost any easy to pay. I find a second platform being a koye way ne koye nipa send a bit me aye. My dear nipa send any bit me I cost up through that process of you even the educated ones. There are people who are educated that almost me and I'm telling you. They are educated, but they are not the friend is electronic savvy. Born before computer. Odi go kosi na nima wo hu A to Z. Osi onko platform bisu no nko tua. Okay, bede watua. Obi wo ko oni momo. Obi ho aye na dwen say yi 11 mi ni momo. Obi wo so ko oni momo. Na sika no mo keka no 150, 300, 75. Bicycle. Okay, bicycle the emissions na yi. Bicycle. About your bicycle petrol. Bicycle. E dey be emissions na bicycle yi. I know so 75 cedis. Bicycle na ekono, the petrol na ekọ. Bicycle the energy. Any air. and at ties. The more you can pedal, no, the faster you can go. Anything you go for PD exercising. Abroching go for baby or befi are not in the car or not the bicycle, not the car. Because you use a lot of energy. In Tipacho, no emissions say free nipa no more and say free by free. I know tier 75. About we be a boy nipa bi opesu oguno. Because they say Okada for no so kura baba betia almost betia 75. Into a fawa or the 75 no back kan ho ama. Onhu ye mobo.
Yo, ma me na wasenana ende ebeto mu na yenko yensem a edap no so abusua yebekọ yasempa eso yenhwe enei abatwo mu ensachaya ekoso in an election year sene mampani dada John Dramani Mahamadi atudwa senke yentwen na yento abanimwie afi hwe baabi a yedru ene bra yese yesesa niema bi ewo yabatwo nhyehyɛ nu mu ma mensha se every deputy minister so honorable so mame
sister kia mema wa ha na machia minuama ewa ha na ya ne na ekua na mafa wafidi kese so edenchia every omampania so ye every president Nana Danko Akufo-Addo and the vice president and flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumiaho, Abrega na adehye nyina. Me did say open say about EC nenso so we are about between of course I would have to give a brief comment before moving to the main issue now per se yeka ho asem no. Ekua amamimi sa wasem edi enti na Ghana ha na eje kaya ye for tax. Edi enti na kaya ye ni a wo free ni krom ne bia watena bayre car so ana ofa metro mass no wa bre atete ne mo wiem na obi mpa adwuma ma no na wa ba na wa be pepan edi asi ne tiri so abo ne kehye a anhwa alomi kotwa na ehu tetanus nya ha ne ebeka edi enti na Ghana enkanka ma ye mia ya no ema ye je kaya ye foto. Does it make sense in any way? Edi na no omuji free ye ho a enti na ese kaya ye ni ye ka bottom of the barrel obi okodwom ko gina hwe se obi bedi ni dwa no wage ne niam aso a ene ne ye ka se say crabs in a basket no mu ase ekra say onhu say onhu ni way out edi enti na na eje omoto eto ho nsem no ye ka aya say ye a bit more nuanced than say ye beka say oh yes yenje 275 cedis a year on tricycle and answer bicycle and to be a ban way you're insensitive than anything. It's like yes, I need to trivialize it. It is not fair. Minimum some for genuine reason to say I didn't in the edge to it. And I told no cry muji amode yeding. A didn't impon the edge to. Or mine a kohumabo empuntu nyuma and she share ya pese ya waha. Edi ye die brankro for hina sikani free. Ebi free a to ojijim. Ebi free bosiabom. Ebi free former goodie ne nyame de hiraye. Minim an era under the Fourth Republic and now since ye buy into constitutional rule as a country. Ye ka say Ghana wa goodie wo formunti ye hia to ye hia bibia nka ho a ye de be chichire man no. Now say ABY yeti krom ha say enkrofo timi ka say ede na ekoso owiem ye yanya environmental challenge o hye wo ho ede na ama ho abehia say Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources enkomu oska yemfanye bibi foforo na edua 20 million trees ye wo climate challenge ye wo environmental challenge ehu abehia say ye benya long term and any medium term ne short term solutions ama nchiri man Ghana no mbe inherit no anya eyete se ne ye nya ne nei na enkodrum pempen so bi a ɛnam emissions ne nneɛma bebree enti na enchima meba no na ɛyɛ problems bebree na ɛwɔ in the environment aban so mu siki say yɛbɛ control anaasɛ yɛbɛ manage the environment yɛhwɛ sɛ yɛbɛtumi manage even air pollution ɛnhyehyɛ bebree wɔ hɔ nom a ɛsɛ sɛ emission ho nsonsoasoɔ na ɛbɛkɔ fam ɛnyɛ no nko a wonim sɛ energy transition Ghana yɛgu so a sɛ kura no solar energy ɛna yɛni abrɛ ho dendenden a yɛ introduce ne kɛseɛ wonim sɛ nandom yɛfrɛ no sɛ nadoli ɛna Laura wonim say about 35,000 households they are on solar. Say we power authority. Yeah, the 100,000. Your friend say me say 100,000. Yeah, the 100 megawatts. Ena kwa gu ensuo no so a obi ko ma hu say PVs egu so a ye transition. Obi betima ka say oh eto e de mente ase mu ncheche mu. Ana say adenti na ye gi to obi. Eno ho nkomo ho is a different thing. Sabi obia ni hono ma ye de eto beto na bobo ano a obeka se wo tua ebi wa eto tua enye enafo mo obia meme nso meka ho bi but enya ne say asif say aban we nkwa na age to aban we ye insensitive aban we that is why na me ma reference to even kaya yefo a no mutu ya to wa hase a even as abatan and as women we were quiet the context of saying say hey adentina woji we I think say conversation no ya chia no enti na me ka atene no
honorable yenhwe o sane nana na kenka ehun nkohia say ebetumi identify car say
yes
car we na twetwe ofiri mu ba
that is the point
eti wo a wo car no ebi a entwetwe ofiri mu ba ye nim se be mawiem sachira ye no aba no ode how beba no wo to a obetua nika DVL ho no ebetumi identify car cars no kanu no nye better say e be kan nyina nana Ghana has say Ghana has say enye mpremprema let me be emphatic me am national service with DVL my adwuma kakra nso so ho contractor so let me be emphatic Ghana enye mpremprem ya assembly koso ne ne me koso a cars do e bakrom ha nyina eye home use and say accidented and say imported cars eye ya use kakra car bia wo level of emission obetima ka say bia eye mono no de emission no ye den e wo from kakra esene ba enka say bia na eye mono eye zero emission senke no
so what ne me
senke no ono abo ye de susudua beto ho say wo atwutuo na wo ka mu no eduru sei ena wo betua to no wo ke no kura beboa me atumi ayi sa cars no kura free system no
nana wo kan say enhyehyɛ bi wɔ hɔ mo de ba ya na ese cars a anyini bro 10 years no mo ye nhyehyɛ bi wɔ bebi a port a yi cars ebe a ebe discouraging crofo mo de car dada eba onya wa ese bibi sa ekɔ so Ghana ha sei ni nyina a in federals to say ye be prevent ne aye basabasa na eba be say environment no enti when so no say in federals to other activities or mo person or mo ye towards environmental protection
like one number one
yenti ho ase a esese ye gi ho nkyeremu ebi a wafre EPA for aba wafre energy commission for aba say na mo say emission no edie na science ne research amoye akere edie na mo nsusuye mu say ye ya eba besi ano kwan na ehun sunsuaso enye kese emroye so ena say edie nti na mo gyeto sika sen na mo ani da so say mo bejeje ebetimi ayesa programs and any projects na ebetimi abo man no but emaye met na han trivialize as if say yenje to our Ghana has said that na ban we pen ebeto so let me land and make my substantive point me just say me nua man opportunities so omo so omo betre o madwene make on this tangent because Mrs. Taka say aban no even okada for kra woje omoto
anka me say bicycle man ko okada
bicycle and me bisa say kaya yefo ede na ede ma omo an eje omoto ede nti na na eje omoto
see emissions bicycle
na Ghana money about time no mo wo he an eje kaya yefo to enti I'm saying say eto no bibi ene maneba yempe bibi kro no fapem rather than saying say oh enkaya ase oh and kasa bi ho na to say because of this intina mode to oba you shouldn't have obi otwi bicycle na motor de ni kwan so otu ato na me bisa about kaya yifo. But now let me go to the Electoral Commission substantive issue. January 22nd 2024 etwam Electoral Commission for asoya omohwe abato nsem so omo frɛ party stakeholders me gidi say ya wa ha nyina ya manyokuo omo de omo representatives call na omo kopie mu ho no Electoral Commission the proposal mienu eto omanim parties political parties ne omo maka omo ko IPAC me gidi say ka IPAC ankrofo nim say political parties na easy to nsa from ye wo NGOs ne CSOs ene ankrankra omo so kwa as observers nanso so omo koye no easy the to omanim so omo opese oye niema mienu ne edi kwan ne edi kan ye moving the voting dates the voting day from December to a date in November ne etoso mienu ne say voting day no omo pese eye holiday enti asem no bebre na ye kan nyina ne fapem no enti omo fra IPAC meeting na omo de to political parties nanim no ena political parties ne say we de esese omo nso so eko na omo political party ni mpanyimfo kodi nkomo esigina ye hwe say proposal na Electoral Commission for the abano say ye bibi omo njintumu anase omo njintu migidi se ne kwanso ano enti the second meeting no happen 29th January 2024 nansa etwam ani na ye first enti nane nansa ana nanan ena the second meeting no call na second meeting na chese obi akọ manyokuo akọ jeje omo adwenkyere no omo nsusu ya aba what I know about the New Patriotic Party ni say on the issue about moving the election day from the December 7 to a day in November no yeah party ni there say yemfa ho say beboa why not we don't have a problem with it a day nso nti na party ni say beboa we don't have a problem with it say ohwa your election cycles na a creative challenge be with transition ABY ye to about 7 December say a different party na eba aban mu within 4 weeks as I say omutimi ye joint transition committee na nkrata sem bibi ese omuhwehwem bibi omuhwie ema new aban ni take over even within the same party et send ye hwe nim say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na beba be president in 2025 no or the different team the different vision eba as I say still omo ho dada no yetimi pe kwan no mo ye transition between this current government any future governments that has been the tangent over the years enye no nko a wonim say afibi wo no ma yekoto aba enam say by your constitution esese wonya 50+1 no 50+1 vote na mba ede na ese eba so runoff ebi o ha runoff no yetimi in the last week of December ye be runoff no the implication is a transition no they have only 1 week to change over a bind enti no the argument ni bi ni say senka ebre no mutwe na ye November na bosumi mienu ana in case of runoff at least 1 month demu a enka ebeboa the New Patriotic Party so mu ni problem with it ebi mu bisa minim say NDC for wa other parties wa ha ombe bisa say adenti na because I know I'm Dr. Maneboama. I know what say election year ni. Inti yesi January ye beto aba December ina fe na mo ye reform sa. Ne bonjo so. Ebi mo so se na say in the year 2016 na Madam Charlotte say former EC chair. Na also opese o de reforms ba. Ema yesesa your friend is saying day ya na NDC for so omuji tum si ensesa day no na NPP for so omunji tum si ensesa day no adenti na ne de adane na NDC for na omuji tum in an election year si ensesa day no and na de omo so omumpene me ensesa na time ni ho na NPP for the last time omunji tum so omuji tum minti min kasa ma NDC for me gidi so oduru omo so a omo so ombeka omo de. But so far as the New Patriotic Party NPP is concerned, in the year 2016, Ebra na Madam Charlotte say, Echo Parliament, Echo say, or pese da ye to about December 7 on Kayen Sesa, Embre Nimuno. Na ye July mu, Oko Parliament in July. Na kabusumi numa me ato aba. In fact, time Oko Parliament no cramp no time na within the period of voter registration exercise. But your objection was not only based on that, substantively. Now your objection no, based on the fact that Ghana is a party to the ECOWAS Treaty. Ghana signed the ECOWAS Protocol on Democracy and Good Governance. If you have the ECOWAS Protocol from the year 2001, December, Article 2 of the protocol under Section 2, started from Article 2. Article 2.1, say any election management body and any major reforms when the time is 6 months or less to the election. Meaning say abetwaba na akabosumi nsia ame ato aba enye saa brenum na wo ba be yeden ebeye nsachiraye bia e wa abato no ene ma na se nkrata se ma na se bibia mu megidi say at that time no say ya ipako baby krobia NPP fo mpanyimfo bi te say chairman Macmenu ene ne nkeka ho omo make saa argument no Electoral Commission were mandate under Article 51 of the 1992 Constitution. So omo be yen hyehyɛ by CI efa voter registration ho efa elections ho efa referenda ho no matimi ade atoto niam yi ame akoto aba. By your argument which was based on this ECOWAS protocol Ghana and Sasha Asientino, Mijidi say it made sense. Mijidi say even with the powers now, the Electoral Commission, na Constitution, ne dia mono. Omo hear all these issues that have been raised, Omo who say there was some wisdom in it. And I say who here because ye the ensa kwasha. It's rather interesting. Say and we have 10 months to an election. Mejidi say NDC for omo makwanya na edi kan so omebo samrane say omo ogidi so omo win election. Na abato say wo win ansa wo pentama ma de na so am wa win. Na 10 months na say ye to so bosume ye te so bosume ba kwa ama na ba ntentama ma wa. We di anka say atifufu ama na tonkwam. We di anka manso bi o. Agroi ye di ba ofie. Enka manso bi nim. But now this is the situation I hear with regards to your friend is saying proposals CRB. And our parties know I have their voting pattern on each issue until let me show you what happened. Yes, I've spoken to a few people, observers, and so I know how the decisions are, the positions of some of the political parties. IPAC is open to observers. So I'm coming to that. And so on the issue of whether say yentuno December 7 and I say ye movie voting day now. Parties or maka so mo status quo say yen January to December 7. NDC, CPP, APC, and GCPP. Omo na say yen January status quo. Omo maka so mo support. There be gum the member so ye different. Omoni PPP omo position here different. Now come to that. And omo support to proposal and so omo de omo mfa ho. Obetwa ba anim now so ebeboa ye okay. Eye PNC, NPP, LPG, and NDP.
LPG asemi kwa confusion wo.
And the third one me did say drew ho no man na obema me kwan ye drew ha na oh that be say wa me time no dia ma e bi obema won so 20 minutes me distract me na me ntimi nya this a coherent presentation Mr. Mo one say we dey nya NPP NDC ni atwe ne sre ni abasa me did say na PPP na gum omo say omo support the proposal say you're moving bra November but not in this election cycle. Omumo pen in 2028. They want the agreement, but they want the effect to be in not this election year, but the next one.
Yes, 2028.
Mpatwine. So these were the positions. On the day Abano, the parties were divided. PNC a proposal and say ye bet my any day about mumpe fiada. and I say memene da na say kwasiada. LPG forecast say it can be on a Monday and I say Tuesday.
You can control the calendar.
Other political parties were neutral. NDC was neutral, NPP was neutral. On the issue of holiday, whether some can say 2 proposals, the change in day and say a holiday or not. On the issue of holiday, NDC is one per holiday. Na PNC, any LPG, is one per holiday. And a New Patriotic Party so more propose a broader consultation with more stakeholders, because declaring a holiday, it has economic, it has your friend is saying productivity and economic implications. And to say be a AGI, TUC, no more mokeka hono, and SN more consulting or more, no more hese to man, and not just political parties. So these were the key issues. Ya one crofons so the issue biaba as to how this new proposal see enkoto no November no ebe affect constitutional provisions and 1992 constitution, which has to do with election of MPs.
But honorable say political parties no obia take position cry or decisions are who take here one. At the end of the day no and yet binding our electoral commission, so IPAC
there be advisory
say a electoral commission at the position but say ye dieni na say political party because say ye nyintum ye call ye no ya ante no ye near a woman say ye position no but so obi de no obetimi aka say ne ye can e was electoral commission emremu no obi anyone
say NPP for ye in the New Patriotic Party. So chinoma fry park meeting na is so asesa na adwene enko to December 7. Ye any problem bia with that. Are you getting me? Yeah, they high. Okaso insist on we are high, and we've made that position known. And to me did say ade bia to say election ho ahomete menteme ho ase doso entime nsusu ye mu ne say isi omusa and article 51 no constitution no amomu tumi a ombetimi dia to anamo towards election cycle bi am so mo the new CI eba ananya sa ye bedi so na emomo mo so they recognize say senka be ya anka ye nyina ya no akoben krom na yate ho ase ne yaje atum se ye bom chidoma manhyehyɛ om de beba no obi anya ahotoso a na sa abotoye mu a ebeboa ama election no ni obedi nkunim ebeji atum ni obedi ncho ebeji atum o meka se o ye chinchin mensa na se we ya na se we ya yewe enti na aba ne sa enti ye de se ne emisikan no ye wo ho minim sa subsequently no your position is known say bibi bio wo ho na ebeba na ye de beba abeto dwa ye ne mo beba abedi ho nkita
me na wase abusuan deputy minister information ministry Fatima Tu Abubakar eni atene no nana kwia ewo fie ha NDC communication team member nana so mame
ni aho ye
adom na so ye
kakra se ne MPP former ye bre ndi nda se yo china se wo mun nsem ni doso MPP phone sem na doso too much mama ye bre so onyame be hwe yeso mama fanchi akese free his excellency John Dramani Mahama ho Emma Ghana for any NDC fraternity for nyina sesia NDC no and only the most attractive party NDC ne party asesia enkrofo nyina ba be ka ho MPP for nyina o madwane afi MPP bebre aba be ka ye ho abehye akateriana se kama ena ye di bebu oman no next year nyame ya aduma minia tax mabinka tax ni ho asem kakra and some de isi sensem ya beto aso se wo hwa ansa na aban yi beba no MPP aban ni beba no ade ba kwa mu campaign on was on taxes one major and traum be try say taxes na under NDC ewo ho no one see a dose dodo sa na omo ka che Ghana fo anti adwo a wo ton ade a wo market driver a wo drive wo a wo ye adwuma a wo temenka tie na tie mu ye media ya se de bia mpese me kyerɛ nsɛm ni mu ye na wo tie ase nti aya na me mpese meka brofo akɛse MPP 4 ba no menua wɔn mo say under NDC no taxes na ye jeje no edɔso enti wɔn ba bɛka brofo bi say wɔn be moving from taxation to production enti monto aban den ɛma wɔn bet na so no ɛna wɔn bɛka kyerɛ Ghana for say ye be move mo free production to taxation enti kane na ye tua tax nkakra no wɔn ba ye de end taxes a wɔn introduce sɛ me ka sɛ me bobɔ so akyerɛ wo a me say ade ye bɛsan yɛn MPP for Babe introduce taxes some much say and the woman taxi betting boys cry or bet 1 cedi ni 2 cedi and they will win bet 50 pesos cry MPP force over to your tax and they will win bet 1 cedi MPP force over to your tax one more the COVID tax by Mr. Bawomian Babe catch the Ghana for say ye come mobile money dear and ye here for ejuma ehiafo na ye mobile money enti nke ho de wo nko ho kra ye to abamoto abama wo wie ye no e na wo be introduce covid ba ya yesu an fifiri teyen a ye ni aduane krendi MPP for abrofo etimodinfo ye bre na ye da hospital ye nya hospital bibia no na wo de covid level so ebe kan and the one more taxi one more taxi na ya one more taxi bicycle
I say bicycle I'm say emission
tax bicycle one more taxi bibia anyway nyame adom 2024 there ya ba bedu ya betu etia ma onu awutie me tutia MPP aban that is the bottom line of all the communications ayeye ani say aban MPP for ni there one more dadai na me fanko si
medofo adada
we dia medofo aya ye wi aboma yen wai ye dofo aya aboma yen
ye monyum asempa de all toko dey just mo am kan se ne mo kan
ye kasasa e no be special
ye dofo adada ya o dada ya ankasa they have come to deceive Ghanaians and so we are voting them out of power yanko EC say you can say electoral commissioner minuaba a serious business because say easy no ono na all manage electoral processes ni nyina say mistake kakra efi hoba ebetumi akosi enioma bebre and so the position of the EC no extremely important and say who occupy that position na say utumi tutu niama ye because you are dealing with almost more than 30 million Ghanaians and I only one more dealing. And I say utumi tutu niama nyina ye. Sana wan kofa asem amba kronim. Electoral Commission after 7 years what's now office. When to me and for changes amba. When to me and planning ahead. When to me and ka say oh ye best Sunday to say and I say ye be say what must say what to me and bombarding na say 7 good years ya babedu 8th year ni mo ye be to about in 9 months no also person wo say dates person Fatima say person mo say dates am ye den why do you want to change the date Auntie, what must say identity on person almost a date? Yen share for him. Identity almost one person almost say what the reason be about?
The reason is be na honorable state sebra ye de to
the transition of
in case of
run be a bar na sanke only within the year no answer na ye read the new year no e be come hand over no
enti na almost say date no enti no ka ho enti se sia that perform ya na wo mu say it's necessary say yen say date da obeye isi aye fan no is this immediate era ya no who say yes is a date she say isi ni person cause confusion bia into me maso it won't happen
who ne say changes in ba confusion beba
chaos we changes are creating chaos. Yen nyina ye nim de aye de to aba. Enti yen nyina ya plan accordingly to vote at that time.
Reforms are creating chaos.
Now listen, voting no say ye to aba obi to kwan efi na vrongo na aba. Obi to aba wo different area nana.
Because wa broche.
Obi wa broche. Good. Obi wa broche. Waje leave say on the 7th of December no. Meba Ghana aba to aba. One more be to kwan aba be to aba ni nyina ye one more arrangement. So if there is any changes, this is not the time for you to make the changes. This is the time for you to focus. This is the time for you to put your calculations together. This is the time for you to ensure, say, elections to be free and fair. This is the time for you to ensure, say, in Crawford 8 and woo election. To say there are 2020 elections. In Crawford 8 woo ye. And Crawford woo ye during election 2020 the best in there yenti hu she. This is the time is in so the measures, proper measures or the betu akwemu na yenya fair and clean elections, because sa elections here ye kwa akotui in December no eye ni bresem pa enti se waye na dwen so ba be cause confusion no be fa ha we are not going to allow that. Sa article 1124 now omo pesa omo sesa no and to me sesa ne sa we can't change it. This is the time they have to be serious with everything that they say omo ye one month fa kwan no one month to omo akwan mu ye na yen to aba no na ya so mu ndwe yen, because yen nyina yen nim say about to aye kwa akoto die His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na Ghana for agye na tum be ma waye bi de obetumi aye ono na Ghana for agye na tum so oba aba be ye kro ni yie enti isi no yesre no eni die mo ye oba time se basabasa ye ba oman ni mo emba ye na ye bebre oma na ni nda ho mo ma ye influence no under any circumstance mo ma obia ndada no no nye nejuma yie na aba no ye nto na ye yi His Excellency John Dramani Mahama embassy so no bebu aman ni yie, because MPP for there womo ya dada fo
nana medase abusia nana kwia avle eni atene nka no NDC communication team member nana electoral reforms
Pacho, everywhere.
First nana kasenti yadru second
nana so Pacho. Asem no more can Fati Kasano or see two parties be say obo pen 2028.
Yeah.
Obia cancer NDC for class open 2028. Obia see this reform on tia, but emre now on person mo yenu. Because you see already there are issues of indelible ink and come and see usi unyu see indelible ink. What am I say? Issues be brave issues of closing of polls. Yen can't want some money see and obien
issues of rigging and afaka home. Issues of rigging, so yen can't want some money.
What are the issues of
issues of uncrophobe wounds, so yen can't want some money.
What are the security issues?
Yen can't
have not really talked about security. We don't want a repetition of 2020.
Exactly.
Number 4. Obia who send ye ECC na the 2020 work kind abandon 5 times. Results na ye kind 5 times. A Krobianka annulé results no. A Krobianka presidential results in Kiev
nullified. Ebi obeka say na ebi obeka say 1 + 1 ye 3 o. Ebi obeka say 1 + 2 ko ye 3.
Yo, into they did you 5 a friend saying 5 times this results no ye kind. Share a registration a 1 year of limited registration. Look at the issues that came out of it. Ye kwaya district level elections ye we ne assign extended to another day. Menu asa wo se sansa dey we ene ye wo February and start here into say ye wo 9 months to election. How do you do such a major reform 9 months to election?
And you also 7 November be 8 months to election.
What I say, how do you do that? How do you do that? Obia anka say niema na ade ato ho na nye tenable. Besides no, from 1992 2000 we did the runoff. Sa process ya and ye defem. 2008 we did the runoff. Sa pro BBNC. E die be na benti asese no. Moye de maye madwen sesese. and it is too close. Okay, 2016 and NDC they call parliament and momo se mompene ebi as they say they must samadwin yankopɔ pɛ nti mensi sanadwin in the 2016 ebesine city ho wonya ho hwe how many years ni 8 solid years.
Limited registration cry ye nana we husu limited registration cry ye isi ehuso
8 solid years. What's that? Why 8 years, 10 months to time, 9 months to time now? So by basis and date. What kind of public? Chaos now one farmer.
No, they don't respect Ghanaians.
Chaos and one farmer. Number one, the first chaotic situation is easy being easy. They won't do adequate public education. Man microphone who say date nasa. It's in Crawford and you see, and sometimes no, particularly all my war in Kraseno, all my work no. A opposition parties no ye stronghold then ne ho otemase omo de ne wo krom inti no behwe ne o ma ye public education wo ba bia ye MPP for stronghold no meja others no inti omo tete ho ane ato aba na wie otemase at this time of the period no there is no need se obesesa date no obi agi atum because 2000 ye bi president Kofo second round ultimately ye born a chidom and or win election no 2208 His Excellency at Mills same thing there was a second round transition course smoothly into ama e ben a chese November is so no bibi sabe ye betimi go through smoothly besides there's not going to be a second round obi second round in free baby a men no person o mo bom pa ye na second round ba no de o mo ne mawura mu de Nyankopon be sore
amen
before na person bom
MPP before
na reforms
na reforms o mo bibi a isi be ya pre bia na nim MPP for sheke e de be na all of a sudden isi de be vision no
and 2016 July na NDC for sheke
oh Fatima mama na
NDC for yi woman nim ba cho man kasa NDC for yi woman nim so mo pe mususu munyima ni mamu nkɔhye isi achi otimase wo mo beka said but o ma hwemu ahu se amfa ɛna o mu gye mu man ade na mu de chinchin by all means me pacho me ni aka kire me ade na by force say because there will be no second round whatsoever Ghana for ya bremo we are not ready to stay with you again ukunu so on pewa pack oni ma na ko we don't want you anymore enough. Share my dear emissions tax here me yi share the biggest country we emissions pay China followed by the USA in the 25 states only 5 of them have a tax and look at heavy emissions USA nyina okakraka ye da hoyi almost 400 million people no 5 states at the national level there is no emission tax. And so that is the second country, the highest, followed by India, omni emissions tax, and so on and so forth. Omni national emissions tax. Number 2, one of the highest human emissions, air factories, and a transmission of electricity, heat, coming out of the electricity and transporting the electricity. Adding no taxi utilities in emission tax. Na ye use cars. Besides a near ma unya emissions and an American a blown cylinder. Your head gasket is gone. Ultimately, a worn out cylinder rings and damaged pistons. These ones bring out dangerous emissions. It is a car to be honest almost was idea we are. And an American the honest would do when Nico. A honest would do when Nico now with me who say emissions no say ni and a cost into no as I say a taximo. Say, what is the essence of the emissions tax? Is it to discourage people from doing what? Say, no, they are not in touch. Minya Bafati. And then Crawford to brand new castle. Because when you say issues of second hand, no pistons, no cylinder, banana engine, I say, no gasket, I say, gearbox, I say. So mostly, no people who know the car to castle, the car kit will be cramp and no aquato. No, your friend is saying, high purchase. Into no esaniema when yina na the emissions eba edi benti because we have to measure the national level. What is our national level of emissions in this country? Here tax because tax is to prevent emissions. Into what is the levels that we are facing? Is it above what is required and answer then? I my taxes by force. If I catch me, is it above? What is the emissions allowance in this country? Emissions allowance, any dear Hinfa. They should tell us. As a country, no emissions allowance, you're saying. I know you're boosting as a taxi man for a careful and I say a punitive. On the issue of LPG, Apalu can't be before flow. On one of your sister stations, Kofi Apalu was on yin too. Only the leader of the party. Into meaning baby, many of at or they are semi free. Kofi Apalu was one yin too.
I didn't know because
was one need date in too. November time, yes. Was it is too early?
And so Tiani and Fati can also say 2028. So we implement here, but this time
there be also LPG so to me implement, but leader of the party. Meaning was sister station.
No, call IPAC.
There be so politics.
There be some record no me busa crop for ya me dia.
Me ba your party.
Odo bo for
Fatima ni wie manana wie na nsem na dos ye ka na.
Party no. Ye enye nipa ba ko na decide. Otimase ye nyina ye tena se na decide. It is a leader no baba be ka say ti say. Na we susu ka say ti say. Na che say e ho no crampo problem ho. Yes, the leader na de me ankasa mete no na me ne wo station so. And then nipa foforo so na kwa ipa ko no so Canadian. So which is which? A house divided against itself shall not stand. So which is which?
no Kofi Apelu message.
Kofi Apelu.
And nkra na to.
I make trauma no. A house divided against itself shall not stand. Into omo mi enhu ba bi omu gina. Otimase. Omo enhu ba bi a omu gina. But at the end of the day no, hwe obi anka say yempesa for but the timing as you see you take your time MPP for na ankasa meti wo ayiso omo see easy should do more stakeholder consultation. Then they know say wontimi nsore keke say wo sesa date. Because date na see e be Saturday, my dear, you are not in charge of the calendar. O 7 November no say date na wo dey kono so opefa akwa 4th July. Obekwa afa brane. You see, at the point, they need to miss it. But at the end of the election, Say, I am so surprised. Say, injury time, you want more from Mozambique. Say, nebe yon beti mi aye juma kakra. Na ebe mo enya some legacy to leave behind. Because as a stand, no bibiye ni ho mo bejina so. Fapim biye ni ho. Omo ba ATS, bibiye juriegu. Free SHS your flagship program enye adwuma. Good policy they cannot implement. Health I break it down. Hwe say e bi wa so ye mistake na yare. Ade e be fo ani so no wa wo hu. Bibia anya adwuma wo krom ha wo. Ena no pese me sorry ni adum mekania. Minima de kronti adum kania ye adum. Otimase bibia wo de wani beto you see but they na ye me ya ne say MPP for sorry no ma gba akwo machi. Wo mo sorry a wo mo si he na wenum ye sei. Wo mo kwa timi kwakwa amenkroma. Enya anu nti ene ye yi obi a wo ho bi afiri ho. Enya anu nti wo so betimi aye ni ye. You can do it better than the other person standing at the corner of the street. Wo ba ye no wantimi anya hwe. Wantimi anya hwe. Afi wo so be da wo san be break the 8. Afi kra de wo si breaking the 8 na be break no. Wo san de muatia na be break. O say I catch your attention.
Muatia me.
Want lawyer Morris Sampao. Was you a muat? My dear, what is Nanandis? Obi kana se me hianhwe. Ebi why don't joke me. I don't joke with these things oh. Also what bibi san na be break 8 no. Hwe enu ana me kan bibi me koto book bi nipa kro no book na atwo no was say everything that is established on this earth is worked out in the spiritual. Oti dem mechire enu ana me hwe program bi wo mo sisters. I don't know if you watched it. Na mo yi program bi wo one of my station me pa cho pa kokwohwe is about God. And one profound thing now nkrofo no a priest for this microphone back kind was it that's the second time I've heard was it everything. But all I am saying is that also the drafts never beto abadia. Let's say so by being spoiled ballot. So if I'm already lost, because any drafts and a twaba, So you are so desperate to say this is even the mechanism here. My dear, Okayano, Obiama Mekashu. Nobody has come to say anything. ABY. Obiama Mekas Asemna Wakano is a jest or is a joke. And Okano publicly. And that is how desperate this government is. My dear, if you want to stay on, if you want to keep your marriage, you do the right thing. And at this point, I wired the ope. And I would desperation, then eba be shame. Ababa be 10 and yema. Me, I don't know really what me duty me kasa me de atom say I will find out why this rush November. Edebe no me hu. As I said, by all means, within 9 months to an election, you want to ruffle the boat. You want to change the status quo.
Yeah, easy for no.
Yes, easy for no whoever is with them. You want to ruffle the boat, you want to change. Meanwhile, there are issues hanging when you're home. Limited registration went to me and register nkola ni nyina. Ebi wo ho ayen register o muso be ni this year timetable ade be register sa nkola no wen. A wo dwene ho say we change election calendar wo year reforms. Timetable na wen. Inyuma sese wo ya wo nyeye. E wo henfa. You need to give us a timetable for outstanding niema wo ntimi nyeye. Asem about 3 p.m. yen kan mani nsiye. No then you tell us say 60% of the people in your friend is saying IPAC agreed. At the end of that 60% by on one calculation no 60%. Everybody agrees in principle. But what it is say time no is it enough? Is it okay? Emfa chaos ma. Because me to one cement me ankwankwanko to me to maba Kumasi Presbyterian. My dream nyina e bi kura ma to ticket ahead of time. And I say my yen she be ahead of time edimbe Kumasi ne de maba. Na fi obaba be ka chem say wasesa. What is the rationale behind it? Because you cannot predict a second round. A second round is not predictable. Nobody in this country thought that in 2008 we were going to have 3 elections to determine who the winner is. Nobody. Everybody thought to say enkonisa. So you cannot predict it. And by all means, you use our system we. At the ayedeng, a second round. Ye successfully. Ye transition issues. Obi ni ho can say problem ho. We a government in ya me adom na when ya 8 years. We 8 years no one fa nya de papa. But when ya 8 years. As I say we start your transition from today. Because when him say one mere ayedeng aso. You don't wait till the last minute. Not put in place with transition measures. Your roadmap towards transition, your plan towards transition, as I will start here, so that a man no sooner see a 2 tiawness a walk. Who could our documents in now by present? Ama, your friend is a nipper will hand you over a man on higher than a ship. And yes, I will be king. And then, because Abano, Shagana is a see to me who said, Abana 4 years old. Se obi Ghana for home mobo near see a be employ and as a Ghana for many anto now to me a connection woman so far who dear oh yeah oh reggae now found who dear what am I say and no near the actual but Obia should be ready for transition after the 4-year term. There is no way Obaba be kase your friend is saying Obaba ye transition last minute Ekwe ampacho ade bako emissions tax and the government should come back again. The implementation of you can it does not matter as long as back because every indication shows that our implementation strategy is wrong and they are forcing us to pay a tax which is a nuisance tax.
Implementation strategy is wrong and I say
my dear papa because my dear what are parliament for they be amino the fees to know what are emissions level which is higher than China and America and you see a tax here because you tax me because you want to your friend is saying prevent people from bringing in vehicles that has more emissions. So also we hear emissions as pollution. Then an American factories, big factories are bringing out emissions. Electricity generation, transportation, the heat a year is bringing out. Your friend is saying when you generate heat never out, no to miss the generate electricity. So a dual turbine. As you do it, it brings out emissions. So if you are talking about emissions holistically, then it means as a share areas nina. As a tax, you don't target Ghanaians or want to to petrol. Want to spare parts. Ultimately, now what's happened taxing emissions bio. Okay, what you saying be that? And the parent the pistons and say only issues with the rings. When year to tubia, mama 3 areas are emissions eba. And then that one 3 areas obia cat is our Ghana and I will charge you across border now. These people are just totally confused. They don't know what they are about. Ghana for so much year yentina memka say emra so say yenyina ye kabom ye liberated this nation. The 2024 election is about the soul of Ghana. It is not about any political party. We need to come together as one to get them out. Because this is a nuisance tax. I'm telling you. Ukuta okay bia empu etutu. O pistons you good, o cylinder you good, we bia you good, yesikotu emissions tax. I would add by 1935.
Ebusia na ya Gentua Chempem and ye training kano. Former General Secretary ma CPP Amanyuko no. Ma men former Gentua ba kumienu na yenkoso ni big boy. Message no fa message a metumi akan. Ebra we say ya odi aka ho no. Sa status no yemfa nantiwi ase ba bia enye crime. Minkai. Chief de ayi ode aba. O say enti nana ya pese o chese. Woni issues bia with video na ne namon framamu ana amanyoko bi mu o mo buru nua. Ene obi o say moti ade nko ana na ya ate a chese ne anwumre na ni abere ne ho saa no. Ne de ayi ode aba no. O se me ayi den. O se hu video bi a amanyoko bi mu so mo buru nua ye se o mabakan sacrifice ne ayo hu ye minu awate na ye ase anu hu ye yo Prince Kwadwo say de ayi ode aba wo se ase nana ye ani abere ne ho a ye adwuma wo ye adwuma for hwan for incompetent one
say Ghana be liberated.
Oh yeah, adwuma for Ghana.
Masa me papa e de ni moja ne si ho de je Ghana. Kwame Nkrumah de ni moja ne si ho de je Ghana. Nti me wo passion for Ghana to work.
And etie Clifford see akua. Party be mu na ya okasa ma won. Me pese me hu amanyoko kro no a okasa de.
Adam ye Ghana ni ntimi nkasa. Me pese me hu se Ghana ni Ghana hia me. Metimi aka na men but pese mu se ubusam sa question me busa as a Ghanaian no. I say me making sure that the right thing is done.
And then na ya o messages no do so na ya obeyi anu ami apontu dem aminya wo na menko soro mfa ba akomienu na ye ntumi entwaso. Foxy potato or say
me party ni CPP
nyanwanwa yo mami fa de no ensi wo Kwame say nana on kasai emma on mine say on mine interest in tin wo kasa ente sa ase ochiri abanya wote so yi ebusia mami fa so na
everyone person me correct assembly afatika o ka send this ya breso no ye taxi car you for ya taxi car you for mutu market tools you will be a friend market tools
send the free to car
you no na wo mutu ya
na nya to
no nya to be can say mo tax
well side mission tax the nuisance tax party
enye sa mo tax
na nya to
maybe why enye sa mo tax ni bi nti mo fa me say ko die enye sika na moje
and no mo da so ji o
everywhere mo da for abusia ha ya sempa 94.7 FM so eni makacho say ene emaku ena ye wo ha sei nana kwia avle ewo ha na ya agento ewo ha ena Fatima tu Abubakar wo ha nana
wo mo pese wo mo ma me nwie wo mo pese wo mo amend article 112 clause 4 no
of the
constitution answer no mo be yesa no they need a thing to test of the MPs to vote. Says here MPs no one more call more constituencies. Akwa one your friends in campaign. So how are they going to get them to sit and do this? The aye patch is in say by this time they can say
that one they do come. emrahye bedwafo na adwuma ne se omonyem adwuma emrahye bedwam ho ene ikro mo recess no yetimi frɛ wo
but want to me frɛ wo mo easy to me change 7 years no me frɛ wo 9 months so mo be amendment. We don't do things like that. See, we have to show respect to the people of Ghana. ABYT Fatima Miriye. See, one thing I have noticed under this MPP government is one more Ghana for one more council made to me sorry keke na oma ye niyama keke. We don't do things like that. What person will hear amendments of the constitution? What Barbets na EC office as an EC chair for 7 good years? When to me and your amendment? When to me and your amendment? 9 months to the election, we say MPs money na bet na your amendment. We don't do things like that. Doesn't show respect to the MPs and to the good people of Ghana. Secondly, isi nankasa ka say this year ye be voter registration ni biomo limited ye be limited voters registration wow card ayira wow ni card bra be ye ni biom bra be ye registration ni nyina within that 9 months obetumi aye. How is she going to do that?
Elections
district level elections are koye ye why are there tatanta are basbasa easy mami everywhere mami say
easy for calendar
each month calendar how the calendar because they are not serious you have by now it's on calendar everywhere you have not brought your timetable but you have the
Nana when we are the Obeka no be anti.
Me minute or two.
You say Mukasa Bumayente. As a Mayenta phone, Eji Misro Monkon Makuma.
Nana.
ABY. Asema me patch say. As at 9 months a year koye election. Who is he for timetable and by? Nandom ye kotu aba EC official be Eshka or you affiliated to the MPP. Or no ya punishing area. There are a lot of loopholes who is no want to me and stand there and ye we juma ye. And to want to be in Kasempo free ma ye uba be amendment of the constitution. Dia me parka only dia Ghana for air can say. At this critical time I 9 months to the elections no. On fan juma no and 2 years. Now on making sure say a juma na e dan enim no
date change is not a priority.
Obey ni ye. Some amendments we enye do or die.
It's not a priority.
Enye priority. Se we go easy website ABY. What trouble ho say? One wo ho say on be make sure say election bia echo smoothly. Se we ye Ghana ni na we consensus and na won't be bia sia. One more the number at one website. Say free one more. Na catch omo say bia me nti we ase. Me say me way me agree to this. Me say. When you call them on their website, almost see they will make sure say one will be CC amount. And then they be for me catch easy say easy. Data our person amend and they don't want to listen.
Yeah, that's it.
Why would they do that?
Yeah,
election year we a nibresem ABY. Yembe tnase ema EC emfa yembe di agreement. The omo year 2020 no and to be in 2024. And member no ye nyina ya sorry. A chrono woman babe said me no ka say Ghana is bankrupt. Ya ka say obia ye bankrupt. I just say ya bankrupt. I don't even know how to say it in Chi. Ya boka bobo siama a chrono ya de ka.
Ya sansafo.
Ya
Nana.
Abusia Sampa 94.7 FM. Nana Kuya Avle enya yete nka meba onwabo meba ye in topics no e doson ye wo ene unim se tewufo meeting na omoye kwaku tewufo na wie meeting na mienhwe conclusion no ne see strike no ma calling offer because Koke University na the way students no omunya ba bi kra entena nka say ye research kra eti e wose ehu the outcome of sa meeting no se ne enemasi akosina mampani dada John Dramani mama say LGBTQ+ there Assemblies of God need the uchi and also da honom honorable ye nkoyenim
just a few comments on some submissions Nana ameki wahasi Nana ya kan bibi I was so shocked but say bibi unsurprising me we are because say yet nkwama bibi ani we are say ayenhu da or said the country Ghana has broken down beyond repair and it needs liberation for the avoidance of doubt. na me sister Penny Nanaya oda PURC ano e Ghana near would so
oh please don't go there
in fear 9
please don't go there
Nana me patcho me interrupt I'm saying it for a fact
don't go there
yet there's some in fear 9
don't go there
near to young Kania Sika
I beg you don't go there
na country nim break it down
na
welder for enya Kania nyo madwuma na saloon for enya Kania nyo madwuma na se wada sumu for one night enras enrechi one kind say wada night for over oh there be me patcho make all their submissions
nana mama nya madwuma honorable meba mame enti nana ya PRC na no warning kan yesumu ani edan na de na
there be as a regulator we insider one foreigner to the situation of Ghana at the time
what to do
that she didn't think Ghana break it down and then Ghana was Ghana break it down and I am saying sir as an insider as an expert na ya da sumu even that na saloon segu na hairdressers intimi nya adwuma na welders intimi nya adwuma na nka se Ghana break it down ehia liberation and na ya dan kanemu after everything in all things at all costs say ye betua cow see be the dankanium na ya say Ghana break it down. Let me come to the second issue. Both of them have made comments concerning issues in the 2020 election. But Cecilia Yerefi say the key issues raised by the NDC are about mentemi ho ase bebre kopie mu court. Not just that. Ekopie mu court ma dance ekra mu de betu dwa no. There was a letter recording Eba Bonting from the chairman of the NDC. Chairman Asiedun Ketia. To the effect is a court now okojina adakam as a witness krano. No nin krata ni nyina wodeko. Enya no nko. The second witness of petitioners. Eya Dr. Pesa White. Uwu article o de beto abonting. Hwe. Yanka no kra. Ye betu futura gu nkrofo ani say NPP a problem for this country and all that. Nanso ahwe obedru bon sendam say be gate na no ne agina ho twa ma obi romansa. If we have principles, let us stick to the principles. And you say Nedia, many will say, and Temu Yenti Bibia, you're fine. And they will say, Nedia, you see Bibia break it down beyond recognition. I won't sit here as a spokesperson of the government and accept to say this government has broken down the country beyond recognition. Yadan Kanium, in all things. Yadan Kanium, ye kwan, and Kwalagu school. Mobrofo ma, omu kobi seme. Security agencies training center bien ho abeko honoma recruit any training maka kameka bio hwe fire service ye ba power na nipa omo the whole fire service for Ghana 7,000 and 2023 January aye ka say in 7 years you are recruiting additional 8,000 fire service of Ghana and omo 15,000 President Akufo-Addo na fa nkrofo 8,000 adwuma eye no nko a ye metna hanka say the country has broken down. Get fund try you starting free SHS get fund say enkwala na nam say additional 100,000 students and they come by every batch ninti pressure on schools no munti yenya expansion niamfa infrastructure nka ho under Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe and you acquire get fund securitization program e dey $1.5 billion CADC education infrastructure. Get fund director Dr. Boadu last year no Academy of Arts and Sciences or my lecture or printed records of all infrastructure projects or my under get fund since President Kufuor started get fund. Out of the over 9,000 projects, Nanya President Kufuor aye were 2,221. Enya no kwa me say me reference obi say ene bie wa fidie tum na obi a wawie secondary school in recent years say NCC new school blocks ana me say bisa presec heya kohwe the infrastructure additional President Akufo-Addo de aka ho. And na ye beka tourism na ya until say tourism break it down. Ghana here liberation. We say education break it down here liberation. Health break it down here liberation. What was the status of NHIS and the NDC and John Mahama? What was the status of NHIS? Ada ye refi alaji hudu ya NHIS boss at that time. Let's pull articles. Na yan kasa smoky back here. Na equalization to no more say baby. And we will not forget yesterday. Senior Julius Malema Kaino and former president Kwakwa retirement. Equalization or power baby. Was we a former president that damage your foot. Video wa honum tachaman pro yati. Na Akufo-Addo for the avoidance of that. The current president is say what time okwadu anu we in America. Even for anything. So one part by you cry, won't me metran cast the country has broken down. The country has not broken down.
Nana ya ne nana kwia mo kasa honorable chihodi no watie mu dabi munyina obi ani hono mo meba munyina obi ani wa buku na nani mesre mu mo ye mo nana kwia beto ba ko amede media atwa mama Dr. Baumia. We shouldn't talk as if Sasabi Ghana 40 fee no munim interacting na me making me points. What the mom kasa mo kan wi ameba medias the the same topic. Nanakria meba say ye wo two members over 10,000 tifie. Na se nkwada no akọ cancer nsem mu wo hono mu amesre mu momi enko the next topic so ima yenko man koma ene meeting no a omone National Labour Commission ye no moma yenko eno so na yempem enko ye ni mesre mu obi ahia 1 minute moma yenko ye ni moma we sawo ndi ni ye won se no ye di ma obi a make no point ensem be bowa omo se mimi ama Nana kwia hwe abusanfo e meba honorable meba obia wo rebata wo ye ntina nana wo be kaye a wo srem se kwia mami 2 minutes me se nana kasa obia ye ne rebata wie ntimo ma ye nsa nkoyechi ensa emma nana da bi manyesa nana ya yenko tewu nsem no yenko tewu nsem no nana nyaboche
lo share the nin kwasem o kan no
di asem
o se dum so de ben me na me POS me nua dum so me POS starting yen ne wo ka ko 4 time kwa ne dum so ni ho at least it has been solved at that time the dollar is 3.6 and then 12.8 and counting ne petrol is 13.95 and gallon no and 60 cedis. Ya kase me kase make kan ye bi ni o me kase make kan indicators and percentages enye bi ni intima ne nkoho kora because dum so ne anya ho adwuma e ya de na ebe dwiri guye ya anya ho adwuma ankanya ne se ne mommo kase electricity wo hoyo ki anya ho adwuma say we are predicting say SSC nya more capacity anya say at the end of the day no we will go back into dum so na e ba ye no e nipa ba ko na yi nipa baako na solve ye but enye nipa baako enya problem ho otimase
yenkote ude no so
yes am na akan
yenkote ude no
and the petrol is 60 cedis how can I buy that
for the avoidance of that no me list of countries ewa Africa has say omutuafu of 4 cedis me the list of countries omuto a liter of petrol 4 cedis no but the currency is not the same the currency is not the same to Ghana cedis
a gallon of petrol
so omutua the equivalent of 4 cedis of fuel. Let us be realistic and let's be honest.
Except so now person ye hu omo meeting
am ye hu outcome no meeting
outcome because some chair me I will see low one share
yes omo was
strike and na me hu say omo
MPP abreso obi akọ strike
na omo
mo trime nyina akọ strike
nana to asoma
ekwia strike achi nyina e one standard of living, cost of living, salaries. Ode meka say untia mami. Se aban wait me kukuru 8.5 million at the Black Stars under the hand of Honorable Ken Oforiatta. On one natural budget with line items like honorarium, has no definition. Teacher for mochre yadie. Teacher for wonti wo me fati. Ye maya yigu anka first no kra no anka ye bibi anka ye mfa manka ho no. Enne yetimi akoye nim. Yetimi ekutekuta ya bag master's degrees ni doctorate degrees ni law degrees ni ye fed me saying medical degrees. In teacher for no. I didn't na buying pese obeye na sede ama wo. Because the conditions under which they work no because of free SHS no are very dire. But you see the sad thing is say most of these people are one more bemwe one ma enko school or Ghana. One nim a hawa sa teachers yi ekom. Tertiary schools no ene how omo common omo ni omo workers ni teacher for it is not easy because the facilities are not even the omo kasati so omunsu. Oti ase so omunsu no mo tunyu be omsi tewu has come to stay and you man no mo to no ano. E man ni memenya omani abre omo to enyom pa. So it is time said government starting. Now ultimately making the priorities right. I don't think it says we sika now the teacher for IMF because why bonny. We could create 24 million Ghana cedis a month. Now they are called non-existent company FNSML. So Juma Ubibeka say a duplicitous. Juma organizations that have been established there. No teacher for allowances, teacher for salaries, teacher for facilities on the year Juma. Obana nkwala na tata so lecture rooms a ebeye ware ho. Nana
me nhwe meeting no say empanimfo no atumi awia ye reporter okọ ho no mo enne eye Kwadwo Mensa Abrampa. Kwadwo Madwe.
Ejo de ebiwai.
Mo atumi awie meeting no.
Ebiwai meeting na awie o.
Na Ekosiisen.
Ebiwai ma Ekosiisen dey meeting na washa ase wo Ministry of Finance wo be wie wo Ministry of Education. Na ne kwakwa yin dey painful to and Fiji na ma ona what you tiane there ebisazen obayama honinti odanwa was strike ni mu yewe na yenye opeyini azekdon kwa oye Fusak national president reason komo ma yete yan wase there ohonze was the way he asema to abananyim na aban ka da yibiri ya was letter mo de was wakan ni na no watch atumiza ochina ya obokolo of strike no na abani yen kan za ebiwa strike ni de odanwa tem nti mokosi wo meeting na asen
Kwadwo yenhwe o sene yete yese omose omo pension tier 2 ene niema omo bobo so no wo se omo gisika ni nyina amunum se pekin kran yemfa ni nyina ma won wo gibi anase sen because yete se omo se aban si ontuanti omo nkole of the striker ase emu awirem kakra ana
everywhere is what part in there say ehwe tier 2 pension na what one na Abanis one count 10 months last year 2023 what to 10 months or went to and out of 12 months na abanity no nimu 3 months pe and nimu 2 months pe na abanitia 10 months na waka ni hina no abani nyentia na say aban although tia because 2023 wo mu be so called retirement onam da abani ntia da miskenti one lam saman ka oda one saka no one say nyen kan nti kapum da aban betre da miska na ho na wakwa retirement no wa ha na sika oda wenya no wenya ne ze ni na ka ho na o ma wakwa da strike no na wa hwa aban anyim da nka aban ba ma road map there oh that man na mintia no e bia by February another March ending no betre ni na interest na o kan ho no was am on so and was NPRA one mbra ne kire there say wentumentia aban entumentia or interest bi a oye penalty or that ban or the ka ho ama wotu was ama one investor no na we invest on their behalf but last year 2020 last 2 years 2022 no abani ye dem na won tua na wo bo abani ko tua no ye na simple interest nti won sika na wan fan quantum no faso bia ambado oni ntina dem abi ya wo ka se ya wa tua no wo ka kira aban de so be trace sika no kura on ka de obetua with the penalty na wo kan ho no ama wotuma za one investor na investment on their behalf. It is all my roadmap and in the next 3 months no obetia the miskani na na we train interest na ka ho a obekọ off strike no
ba kwadwo ne yenti ase ne se na aban mpanimfo strike na mpanimfo no omuwo momadi ka masem nyina dada eti ne enhyiamu no omokoye no government side ne betena table no ho with an empty hand say ye ni proposal bi asemasem na mo ka no ye ne de ba table no so nie omba ya na hwi nkita won sa na tie
everyone say ma mpemfu ka ne na da man oti na mpemfu ka na ma no ti say ye wi enu kra ba ne side no everyone ye nye obi ampo yin na nkasa ne ye bisa da ba na wodo do table no do na ona wati etua no wo ma ye tie yan wase da hon wa present bibia ma aban nti sa aban ji tum wo ho mpo a anka obekọ off strike no but aban se da wati nti aban ko akwadwo no ho akwadwo ho na ma wo ze ba no oji tumiza na strike no obekọ off nti se yehwe ma ho no wakan ni da na oche da aban be no wanfa ayisusuye bia mboto wonanyim onu nti na wa ma wa aban dam two ministries ni nyina ministers no ankasa na omune empanimfo ni hia ya na se hemfo a everywhere Ministry of Finance the one deputy abna say asare na oba meeting na CB and sana wori fro na wa call Ministry of Education inti meeting no fair wages full baby the man so ana finance ministry wo baby and GTech so also wo baby inti minister na ankasa finance minister ankasa enhia o deputy ni hia omo adam pepepe and education ministry so wo education ministry dey wo ma yete yan wa se dey wo ko share minister no ja oma wako education ministry le ebi wa se dey won finance fu wie no na oda wo be education o san dey ejuma na wa ye no was no dey for under Ministry of Education so oda education minister no pia finance minister na o ye ma on we hia no o ze ma hon nti wo ba no was about to nyima wo hwe da no so da we nyina wa ko benkum na was ato wonanyim no mpemfu ba hwe na wetu ho ana mo na won de bia was atam no okwakwesi miena wasena yemfansia anwumre abusia yensentwe ni kwadwo mensa abrampa amanebo eno no nana ni akosie no
yeah, this is a very sad fact. You see, me I kai ntua mekai the pension am di kofi no kura no manhwe ye ntimi nsome ene na ya ne mama ni tete no na wo aban no kura no you are in arrears of my tier 2. I mean, why should that be? We can't fatisi me and kase asem we ya esi me nua me ye adwuma wa ban mu 27 years. Me start here na misha. Me wie School of Journalism. Me den to aso nyina me to aso amaya bedu baby a medui almost finishing my PhD. Na me wa ban mu till say MPP for be pam me. But for all that time never na me say aban bi aban say workers any aban benya wenju a na ye issue of maybe to market to him but enya ade ye me dia 5% na wote me no hwe so ma me na se me kokokogye ahome a matimi anya baabi bibi de didi because ahome mu na medi 60 na de niam bebre nenam na enu kwa hwe we ya wo mu treat o minister no krampo a mabi womu dane ma deputies a womu no nyom ne take decisions me ba cho we eye fair na ni nyina ka haircut na ye ka no ho ni nyina ka DDP no na aka no on the blind side of the pensioners no woma ye DDP teachers no woma ye debt exchange program when they said they didn't want it otemasi we ye kwa ka musi ye nka ye kwa ka wo se metan abanye se me dogana me ba cho we se metan aban kranka ye bone because teachers is sika wo musika no krom de kofie na at the end of the month na ye sen na ye timu 5% de ato ho ama wo ne 10 months maybe kura ba be ko hwehwem de aba no ese se workers nyina obi akokohwe make sure se ne de kakra na ya tene se ewo ho a ene krofo mo ye friend say ayi treasury bill their principal is jeopardized Ebu ho kwaso kwakwa yi ni sika yes wuntimi nyi my 2 months my 3 months the 2 months 3 months sa nkofo akoba back forwards. Government borrow from omuntimi ntua back. Ugo kan we yes when did this thing happen? Ekua when inti sesi chafo omunye moba na. Uye aban weka wo penya he. Wo penya he. Wo de odo bi na ye adwuma ma eman no. Ekua penya he. Inti at the end of the day no aban na wo kwa wo no there's no minia there's nothing for you. Abroche wo ye adwuma wutimi ye mortgage. By the time I be this 16 we twetua na wo ba bi da. Most people are almost free abemu teacher for public servants. Oh yeah, oni kapre. Na kwa tena busua fie. O wa ban dem a 3 ma ene kwa ba da na bi ni ho na o matena because o maton ni nyina e bi kra de bi aye mall. Ukwa cantonment say aye si mall ho. That an enclave of government bungalows yes si mall e wo ho say ya. First Laboni Street e wo ho. Insese kwa po workers kwa umunya baby mfo muti nto. Rent a won kra ha na no bi ka che mo sesa wo per single room self container ubetu 1,500. 1,500 is single room self contained. Ah. What's the area ben?
It depends on the area.
Was it baby or not ten or su? Was it 1,500? I was shocked at 1,500 for saying madam 1,500. Was so pay baby decent. Went to 1,500 for betia. So a buying not being said or best share workers. We crowd or no crowd or a private person or pam nadie. What about workers here or more pay and do baby? Pension or more coffee and so wouldn't ya. Because this is a factor of uncertainty. And yes, one more 3 more, but send ye tea biano. Yet the answer yem. Yes, for the sake of uncolanity. Omun continue with negotiations. Na omun call it off striking. Tene be ya nkola no betimi ayeden akosku. Ye nyina ye ma wo ho. Ye nuanom wo ho. Ye sere wo mo. Because yes ana den nkola no so ayeden. Wo ma ye heja. Aban we si wo dwene education ho. Aban we si wo nwini obiara ho. One ne nkrofo nko family and friends obia ni ho a wo dwene ne ho. Because we ye aban a wo dwene nkola ho a wonim se teacher for pension untuaye. Any other amenities ni emoluments say so omutimi nya untua mfa ma wo mo a utimi da ema wani je ehwa nkromo utimi kata wani da wabra enkola teachers omu choma de wo mo niema se omutimi omani je no utimi nya wontimi kuransi affordable houses ma teacher for enka say yesi nine we amamo flats na nka mokọ wa home mu a wo benya baabi de muti ato de bia mo de mano e chan na makoje land e chan na makoje asase wo ha e chan na makoje asase wo ha munye hwe kakra no so a mekọ pension me de beto maduro no ade yem so mpese Ghana fo nyina awu no mba be fa kuro no no because they are sweet
ebi wa na na
minti bi da ayem se wo mpese ye nyina ye wu tie free mu ana o ma fa kuro no se o mo se o mo ba afoforo no so o ma je o mo man nti man ne de ye enye ye de a ti o mpese o mo finish ye nyina awra hu semse
ya da se na na kwa so mame
yo ebi wa in fact and some are koso under MPP no eyare hu Ghana for diare hu under MPP strikes are benyina obia ko strike under MPP. Nurses for strike, mortuary for strike, doctors for strike, teachers are strike, labor unions for nyina strike, kaya yo for nyina strike, obia under MPP, obia strike. Emma yemrewa pensioners cry one more bomb bra ye. I'm making sure so one more to 2 niama. Akoto bonds nyina etumi strike. Emma ye maami Sofia Ekufu cry to me sorry peja ni mu akotena se apekiti under MPP for the omo. This is a government that came to deceive Ghanaians. Somebody umbe chan troya yaya somebody ye Ghana you etiefo aban we no ba ye no be kan say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama no osisi schools, osisi roads, osisi airports, osisi hospitals. Na breso a fuel ye 14 cedis per gallon. Na breso a exchange rates ukofa dollar to cedi a 4 cedis. Aban we be kan say that John Mahama ye no enye. Womu ba be kan say womu de womu ba womu be ye ni yie. Etie for ma mo remfi sa ban we no be collapse banks ni nyina. Sa banks na womu collapse ni nyina no. Sa banks na cleaner wo ho. Cleaner na uko clean bank ho. Ye collapse bank won say we juma abo. We juma abo. Electrician na uko koye electrical works e wo banks ni nyina. Aban we be collapse no won say wonya juma bio enye bio. Security men and now musha banks na so aban we collapse banks they womu nyina ye redundant. Graduates in Crawford school esua dia womu ye counter cashiers e wo banks ni nyina amemo bonne ni ani bre ni lack of ideas MPP for the buy ebe collapse banks ni nyina be render 50,000 people unemployed. Obaye mobile money for a mobile money can no benya ni 500 cedis awakwa kojina baby o si me ye mobile money aban di mobile money taxes ni ba ya na bebre egu ye 11 ni ba ya na bebre egu ye me no ka say multinationals ye ka multinational companies e chese wo ma o fi abrochia ba be invest e wo krom ha bi ni game cry see game egu. All the multinationals omababe investment e wo krom ha under MPP womu nyina sesa womu niama edwane efi krom ha e krom ha se yambo ye ho modern anye adwumaden 2024 amfe ntu MPP aban ya me say ye be ko 1983 e komo be di yen because womu ni Ghana for at heart and then
ye be ko 47
ye be ko 1947 sa na womu timu odin. These are a group of people who are too wicked and too desperate for power.
Neo-colonialists.
Neo-colonialists.
Imperialists.
Yes, that's what they are. Just say, as someone who can say somebody nina, ABY, woman yeba kukrasi, woman babe was seeing a situation, and there 3 square meals in Crawford did miensa. Anopa benya bibiedi ewia benya bibiedi anaju benya bibiedi sesi ayenye ni sabiom
001
and then 001 anopa wondidi ewia wondidi enwumre na wenya bibi ato yem na wakwa akoda anase odidi anopa ewia wonye bindi enwumre wonye bindi na wakwa akoda
100.
This is what this MPP government have come to do to the good people of Ghana. One wetimu ye din ankasa. Moving forward, teachers are called strike, obia called strike. For us to come back to your that day, muno. And on a kasa, we will need a visionary leader. Ye kasa visionary. Just obia na dreamu dwa or dream or tsina mba. Our children's children, ye nana nom. Abai MPP foi. One nana nom. They are not thinking of their children's and their children's children. One dream ye home. One dream ye home. One buy ye. One de bonds in akosi awawa. Ye japade nyina ban de akwa akosi awawa.
Awusi awawa de bibi free mo ba o.
E de aye collateralize ye nyina up to 1944 de akobobo sia. Na omu de akobobo busia hwin free mo ba. And the revenue abedi aban se chese ye jeje tax sika ababedi MPP for nsem. Nana a bro a pepe next time me ba me di translate abedi me che no me bo figures na wa chemu wo twi mama me. These are a group of people one more jisika so be say almost say den na omu di sika ya nana one mu ntumi nkan show. And the teacher for na akọ strike and kola eti fem esua ade some of the villages ebiwa wo kwa obesu and kola ni akonja kra mutena so e de trade Mahmoud ba omia ba be ka kire Ghana for so be ma kola bia one laptop Fatima ti ha onche yen kola o menya laptop ni bi laptop no de se wo mu di aman kola na kola wo mu di kofi ana se wo mu di sua ade Oba you also be man Kolebia, one child, one laptop.
Or the day never charge a crown as electricity.
A crown as electricity ni ho. Oba you also be making sure sa Kolebia your laptop. Fatima to meet now aka doom so sa doom so asem na say wo mu ntwa so because under NDC no you solve doom so na answer ye free power. Capacity I dey kan sa energy we ni ho no enye no na wo bo ye. Fatima should tell us how much megawatts now they can
almost how many megawatts
they have not added any megawatts to anything. Woman for she and make electricity as
almost say excess capacity there will be at the excess capacity about one solve doom so only the buy excess capacity or there I said any partners of
exactly
and you're not the back count
there be NDC solve doom sono and I di capacities ebeke kan ho na under MPP aye ni doom so hwe adwuma nko aye collapse and dem na ye wo doom so de anka makun yen nana unhu sa
no
ye ni doom so look at how many companies MPP have collapsed Fati ye ni doom so hwe send mobabe gu Ghana ababe gu companies ababe say bibia ye ni doom so sorry, I must see doom so under doom so people were still working and making money. The companies were running. All the banks that were collapsed worked under the doom so. All the companies that have been collapsed. One more hey. There is no doom so. Where are the companies? There is no doom so. Where are the revenues you have collected? Just say MPP for there. One more semu can.
SML.
Yeah, that's
SML and their scandals are one that over 100 scandals. PDS scandal. SML ababe chim. A friend is saying, Matthias, sir, Al Jazeera for us, and also Galamsey, woho, just a scandal, Sababe MPP, Abemu, more than 100.
Yeah, that's it.
Every lastly, Midibe Sino, Ghana for Miss Remo, me pamucho de bia me catch them, say, me na neki have, let me bambi tramun trod that. Send yet, see a pepe na me catch row. MPP former dada wo me di unwamo se wo tie mi afasha wadwemu se wo kwakoto aba on the 7th of December na wo be kwakohu His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wo ho wo kwa bombodia se odi be si so ama no wo NDC parliamentary so na wo di esi so ama wo na yem brambe ya setena ne yie na MPP for de wo ya kohwifo wo edi unwamo ento mo mu de biada
yeah that's it abusia na nakua ene ate ne nka no na nakua so mo di uden
wo mu nwamo
na say di o musika as e di o musika mo si nwamo enfadini o ka say nwamo shamo
why did you then I mean can shamo Ghana for MPP for di mo shamo
I said di
oh abusia I am 94.7 FM so nyame ya adomo a ochina meba nyame ya adomo a ochina abawa route e wo London ochina ye abawa birthday eti abawa route baby awo bia no if your original Mugabe ni abusua ni nyina mo se men kan che o se nyankopon onhira no enye bebre kesepa abawa isha enkoma ono buso
ABY maybe start me nyame din so catch up mo say maye din am maka ni nyina obetima dundum o mic na ma me kra be bo mo disrupt there be say mo kan nyina me man ka bi
there is eguma ni mu ntwere
near kind ABY I can only empathize with Teufo ye NDC aban me crampo as a deputy information minister. There's been times labor unions omone Ministry of Finance ne Ministry of Employment Fair Wages and Salaries Commission esho masia omu di nkita ho ametimi kotena mu bi na yetie ne mehwe aban ho keka abotre ene ekwan omu faso ni omu twetwe enkomo a na chese enidaso ho so kind somewhere November December 2022 now because of inflation no more pecola ebe we say buy more of cola 15% when him say cola ebe fro ye see 2023 mu inflation ti year 2 adwumayefo akatu by 30% ebi wa we awe ye ni adwumayefo nkosi nkonwa da kroda enka nkyere mo say mo mfa mo say mpanko ni omo beka no negotiate eni diemu eni ebuomu na se wo kasama John Mahama former president John Mahama eni the NDC na se obetena ha na e beka strike asem na aka se obeka bidia no ato petetu ABY for the avoidance of doubt mami ntwe adwene nkosi bibi so
equalization
on 11th March
1957
ABY mpacha calling to order because omo kasa na manka bi e mo distract me presentation or say nana equia say NPP aban ye riddled with strikes they be demonstration strikes mpacha enyame na me kasa yo former president John Dramani ne kasa e graphic online utimi ko check on March 11 2015 former President Mahama Neka say, and I quote, "I have seen more demonstrations and strikes in my first 2 years. I don't think it can get worse. It is said that when you kill a goat and you frighten it with a knife, it doesn't fear the knife because it is already dead. I have a dead goat syndrome," he said.
What source is that?
Me say graphic online. Check it graphic. It's
graphic online.
When news a former
and
president.
it was written by
say 11th March 2015.
No, that is not a correct source.
ABY me patrol for the avoidance of doubt. So our comment.
Nana Kuya. Was stating the source. No. Nana was stating the source. So person will verify ya with me verify. Man to us.
Under him from 2013. When he must say Ghana mebunu omo kwachire ade under former President Mahama ni NDC aban from 2013 ekosi 2016 yakachira omo so omo ye adwuma from April 2014 ekoka August 2016 esha se no omo se nipa 4,000 kro omo validate omo na wage bill no so omo bete so enkodru baby kro omo so omo yiyi mu wie ebeka nipa 30,000 ABY minimum rantie wo zongwa na ebi akotena sankore ebi akwa sankragwa no mu kwachira ade ma former president John Dramani Mahama ne NDC aban amfie miensa yentu omo sempo antu ataku de bi omu chini validation ho yese wa bra yebema 3 months salary nana ya te ha say ono speaking out of passion, and I'm coming to rebut that. Say, where was Nanaya's passion when Ghanaians were suffering and working for 3 years, near more 3 months? Now in the year 2012, yada doom somu na former President Mahama
one way
enya $5.5 million from
one way say something else.
Me patcho ABY one stopping na me nka amasem wi am point because me time ni nyina no moka. In the year 2013, AFCON budget na price money ye only 1.5 million. Former President Mahama near the sumu ayentua teacher foka oyi $5.8 million. Ese yemfanko AFCON. And the prize money 7 million, you can about 8.5. Me say when the prize money was 1.5 million, about $5.8 million. That's what I'm kwa AFCON. In 2015, na even your IMF program, any doom somu, any a teacher for a yen to almost say was some no more campaign, my mom distract me. Nini na mu no muntua a teacher for pension. Me say if they sit here and Nyamiadum and me patcho me mom distract me. And the controller and accountants general motiha. Me sin some o matena ha kanyina me de nka menya ukotu obi a farmer fact checker for no mon check it. Yes techre man pro. No obi asema waka o mon fa nkoye verification. Na mon bra na mu enti former president Mahama de na obepaye. Ede na obepaye obedi sofo enya aban na so obepe so edi nti de nti na mo kan about equalization me nkotena obi me anka se me compare san compare se ebe compare na nkotifie and if you want to come is because you believe in your superior record na say a inferior record that we will put it to you. Let me come to that. Even me patcho we are experiencing inferior. They can't heckle me here. They can't heckle me. No, and I'm saying it online. Done well. One more man jai heckling na me minjai kasao yenkoye. One more man jai heckling na minjai. Nana yete ha me pe NDC nia me ne nana ko stadium me ne nana ya ko stadium me ne nana ko stadium several times me pe NDC ni obeba betena se no atam sector by sector no aka se ni nyina former president Mahama ya ade se ne president Akufo-Addo omunye bio eno ane so mbetena ho mbetum futuro agu nkrofo ani o ka se rota o se musima ni nyina na sika ngu nkrofo botom at one point in time na former president Mahama ede sika share Ghana ni bi botom if not for anything president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo COVID buy COVID business support opa bisa tag for TUC bisa dwadi force president Akufo-Addo so one first can show mu bottom so mu mbo mu dwetra tourism sector ya kan si. And then, what is the record of former President Mahama in the tourism sector? What is the record in the tourism sector? And someone mo kan ye nyina, and I didn't say that, so don't heckle me. Mo making me point near mo kan ye nyina, near mo kan about me nyina. I was quiet. I am saying, sir, omo baha, let them bring the records and let's compare. Let me give you an example. In education, ABY, anana kuya ne nana ya, minim so omo ya defo. Omu oska ombeti me di omu mako international school. Anapai mekasa. Oh mami make Debbie. Me say ebia mo ya de for wonya de for akasa wonya de for. ABY. Wuni mu say at the end me nso me cause I Tony bi. Wuni mu say Ebra president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ebaye. Also obey free SHS. I have on video. President Aday, mo mami making me point. Na mo man kate wo mo de na baby a. Maka ne mo beka I did not interject. I had so much to say I didn't say anything. Let me make my point. ABY. President Akufo-Addo ka so obey free SHS. President John Dramani Mahama on record in video. O say hey, prekwa 2 billion. And a President Akufo-Addo so the be free SHS. Onu 2 billion nka niam o de be ba beye. Omuni mu niam e di 2 billion be ya wo sa sika na SHS mu na o de ba be hye. ABY. Omu obi di omu obi. Oni biefo afibia nka 100,000 egu dem. 2017 to 2023 ke kan bo ho. Enfie nwotwe ni 800,000 nkwala enko omohyebre aka hye. Oko police says for SS results bra. Ope prison says for SHS results bra. Oko fire service yes SHS results. Oko pet dance reform chade. Oko kope crèche akosa san kwala diapers yes SHS results. Enti na mo se emma president Akufo-Addo ma meye bi ma oni biefo no sebi. Enka ye no mu bi ni asefo no. Enti nkomo ne nam he. Enti now betna honom now kasa abinding yeshia under NDC yada sumu because of energy sector debts because omu ni sika to buy crude oil me say mutan sama mo kanyina I didn't want to say you are ignorant about the energy sector because the energy sector and the power value chain is not only about generation your transmission your distribution namu ntime njeje sika nto crude oil enti ni yada sumu enfie 9. It is a matter of record. Me betina ha me first submission ABY. Me catch out say even we down 100 megawatt PV solar pipe egu so me kanye. Me catch out say Kalio. Me catch out say Laura Nadoli. Yaye solar installations are 35,000 nipa. They don't use crude or hydro. They use solar power. Makacha say AXA 1 Watema, any AXA 2 Kumase. Additional capacity over 350 megawatts each eba mekani nyina kan ho. Mabetina ka say, under this government, yeah retrofit T3, any other thermal plant na enye hybrid. Near use crude ya de gas e kan ho. Sikani ya de kwa koshem. Yanko top plant for from megu ho ma ban na japade tete de nani nkukobu ongu baby. Amane chechire ne hiae ya ba na nchechemu ne be chache Ghana for enti wo be kan about power generation na won kan about transmission na won kan about distribution. I don't know what you are talking about, and for the avoidance of doubt omote ya se nkurase nyina obi adasumu enye nokre. Unim said the energy minister Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh at the last press encounter 2016 na ye access rate for electricity in Ghana na 83%. 2022 88.5%. say aka 1.5% near drew universal acceptable access rate of 90%. And on the record, untimi metena hanka say President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo aban no, and Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia aban no, omo fa hwenka electricity ho. Dede no dia wo beye, but the facts will expose you. Omo kan about enyuma sem. Me mete ha o, me nya adwuma University of Ghana. It's a for the koyo omo research. Omo se dum som fie 9. Enyumaku egu ya na bro aha nwotwe ewo Ghana ha. Agu productivity ana atofom yeda sumu na wonam ha enka multimedia mu use generator enka mu use plant eto diesel gum na me ye adwuma hotel ye bill ebeba for diesel nko aye de begu machine mu no na otwemienu na bro 60,000 Ghana cedis. Not even up to more than 4 times of your electricity costs are the expense. So what are you talking about? What the PURC amia dan sumun fie 9 Ghana and collapse afen na be liberating. Mote Ghana ha ka say any ekokọ demo. Wodi mo niam na ekọ demo under former President Mahama, even unemployed graduates association. Aban we say ya bia enwuma ya bo enwuma up to 2.1 million.
Boy you kwa na ebetumi afa so solve tewu for problem because enna nkosi aga
eye nkita hodie ne bekoso megidi se omantimensi gina ye nei labor commission for fair wages government labor commission the omo regulators but fair wages the omo ya under Ministry of Employment omo de beko akoto mpanyimfo anim so ene ya no anko benkrom mese makobi pen minim senia esitie oh we di omo si we di omo mpe by now beko akoto na percentage nsembi eso nyede ensi jinaye ebi nso so betima ba say ye kan nyina ne ye wo ho na wo che. It is about the national cake. Obi pensu, obi pa kwan, obi pe nkanea. Enti de na obeye. Ebi wo ha ne omo pre no wontimi mfa ne nyina ma omo a. Eye sre na obesre.
Atro omo sika tie 2 na ye.
Na me ka say tie 2 no. Say okọ opa bisa pensions fund. Opa bisa senate no omo keka ho. Omo tiska no to omo ye investments. Ana meboa me gidi say na nani a lot of people know about that omo ye say be ye omo betimi grow say be ye ho so omo betimi e de akora yie no omo de amomo enti say ho be hia so omo be ye omo be din kita ho no omo si gina no omo de amomo why won't they do that enti me say ye no mu nso ntwen ope na ye ma enkita ho die no na da enya kasa enya dialogue na kasa ameka na every minute every second na mu gina mu nti me de akasa wi meanwhile mo kama de me manka bi ebi why she obi otenkran ha minka baby o enne Accra radio so ne ati she o kan about health hwe na meti krom ha say yete ha abere bia mo be so line bia na nkrofo afre se apemfu owu because o call Lekma road a montwimon kan obeto tomansa na wodru Lekma road un kan hwe kra no me se won kan hwe kra no kan Dr. Okoboy obetna ha was akwan na pinfo wo akwan na pinfo na de na menka dum so because under former President Mahama na omo yesedra nurse for the kania bo omo maso omo touch into me patrolman distract me finally obati say NDC claim bibia ida so obi ape funding no omo ye bi omo se omo dia ida say omo starting na aban we abewi omo se omo dia ida so obi project no omo je hwe enne ya me 2017 bese December me call Seria ya busu efie ba ko ye right opposite Seria hospital na foundation kra na ebi ni ho na dade fabrication ena esisi o mi twa picture me hwehwe me phone na betena ha yi achema mamahu atro any mfuturo NDC for timi di wa ha da kromu mbie phone lines na mo sesa mo mfidie nkọ ho na community ne nka ma mo ntie na hwi ni ho eye fabricated in their foundation yamfa cement and say concrete ko enso mu down the line ABY and Nesuman Crawford no mo fa omani nkwohwe ade a President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo aye enye no nko an kohwe dual carriage road omaya kosi se wi junction we be kwae enti obi a otempotamu ba bi a President Akufo-Addo any NPP aban no adwuma pa nani ahu bi wadi ho adanse mo kokro moti ye ba ko me de ye ba ko mo so de ye ba ko yesi gina yesi yakoto ama Dr. Mawudu Baumia no wa wini enti ma mo ntena ha se me mbo na da mo bo Mahamadi a me mbo Baumia di mo ntimi hekel me not to mention Baumia. I'm not that type of communicator. I am not that type of communicator.
Madam say ebusia tia wana yenko monya na yemfa ensi
etiefo de bia me kasa me de mentumi ntwa mo ntro te se ne afati asori twa ntro sa
nana kuya meba
nsema afati aka ni no tu mfuturo na etugu ga ni otra aka che se NDC for dum so no yanye hwe wo etiefo mu ntie yebe nyina mu ntie me se mo anso bi dum so
NDC for ye fa dum so
na nya betela
me se mo ntie dia NDC for ye fa dum so no ho
na Vrongo solar power plant ye the 2 megawatts eka ho ye Kokpon thermal power plant ye the 220 megawatts ebaye ye ko Ameri power plant Abuaze 250 megawatts MDC na ye de baye T2 power plant Abuaze 110 megawatts steam na ye de baye car power ship Tema 225 megawatts na ye de baye na ye 500 impo when nyina NDC for na de baye mafatin kantre me dia wo mo dia ba how much megawatts
has say what are you talking about ABY oka mami respond
mami kenwie Fati should let us understand how much megawatts na wo mo dia can anything about energy hu e wo krom ha say enti dumso na omudi wa omo ho no I don't know what that means. We solved dumso before leaving power and it's a public knowledge. Obieni mantiesi oton ade our market onim se Mahama solve dumso no Uber driver nim se ye solve dumso no enti se wo de hye omo anum se enwuma omo ni mutoa ni se Mahama dumso dia and they are so sorry to disappoint them. They are a total failure. Dia ye patche woni se yepe economica ye ka say economy e say ye hu woni nimpa bottom nimpa the economy is felt in nimpa bottom senti na Mahmoud Bawumia tumi ko gida amalata efa abode bo ekire Ghana for senti no tumi ko fa bayre bi sa Ghana for say bayre we ye den say and then Mahmoud Bawumia economic messiah Mahmoud Bawumia chairman of the EMT owo hifa and don sign ko makola non ko balata non kon fa bordie non bi sa Ghana for say bordie we say under his leadership and then you show your vice president aye hu no Ghana ha say why year fi Ghana ha say and then on nam no your campaign so person be di Ghana so be president after all the lies our try Ghana for. This is a group of people that they are so wicked and so mean. They are not to be trusted. They came with a purpose. The purpose they came with was to come and enrich themselves. As of now, no one achieve that purpose. So they should go in peace. And they should go with all their entourage, including the Mahmoud Bawumia, all their ministers, all their MPs. They should all go in peace. And let us vote for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who is a visionary leader, who are on kind who confancy motto kind. Think ahead. That is the kind of person we need. We don't need people like and then we don't need such group of people. 2024 wherever we meet the MPP in terms of communication, so you be communicating well. I'm a Ghana for atiasie. So you to me that one more the sika ebe monetization. Emma Ghana for be Ghana for sika se munji sika na montoma ye munji sika na ye breaking 8. It will surprise them. The Ghanaians will be sikano. So you better it. They cannot deceive people of Ghana again. They cannot deceive the 30 million Ghanaians anymore. Yeni abre ABY. Yeni abre with the NDC no. Ye juma. we are on the field. Yeah, wherever the MPP sits and lie about what they are doing and they are not doing, we will go ahead and explain to the good people of Ghana for them to understand. Say MPP for the woman yeshi. One more baby and rich woman break 8, and they will not break any 8.
No, if I Patricia, one more Patricia for time.
Munina will be a for time.
I'm sorry. Your friend is saying, Fatisimo for picture and Coseria, a camera namunkucha. If I come for camera sunko laboni, why?
Namunko chair no so.
Share government a
projects I also
fa. Our mo at one our mo
him for not on.
Ah, one cocoa shake. Oh, some we investigators, ye journalists, move investigations into form. Now, we'll find out why not talk government bungalows. Now, 60 years of me and San Canada. Utimukra big Jiriego. They say His Excellency Baumia or him.
Why you have his system?
As I see a second as vice president, he is not fit for purpose on your Juma.
Then why ain't I say,
Massa, taxes say echo when you're him. Taxes are a day bring no catch as a production, no taxes. And you know. And you no car say mobile production no taxes. To use taxes to rule a nation is a lazy man's approach.
No taxes say
was it production? I'm telling you, was it using taxation to rule a nation is a lazy man's approach.
Also, when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you.
Men are make
a with experience.
There be my me pacho. Me man question no more. I wasn't there. Man question no. On no one kasa. What am I say? Into what I cancer, maybe I mean, so will be ye. I cannot question you because Baba Beye, a running mate to Baba vice president. Man question you.
Dr. Bawumia say we cannot run a country with a double-digit deficit. And now we on Beyano. One
man question no more. Or see no taxation production. The taxes at the time were too high. A media had meaning and say, what can't someone yet? And Nissa will be so born now. What would your Baba be something different? Because the thing that they told us, no, you saw my and still no, they are equalizing. Sometimes they do baby with me patcho.
I'm here remorseful.
With me, case a be a dear no. Men who is a me bear moon, men who is a president who 4 years be. Or see them in names as an humanity and ministers no, me find the baby mon fan chemigana of one cassa. Most so by taxes, emissions in my church room. You don't just get up and ask women emission taxes. You have to need to know the emission allowance of the nation. Because baby bear nam kwa huntimin konfontimin to spare parts, konfontimin to fuel because it's IMF say taxes instead of widening the tax net. You are creating more nuisance taxes. One no wa hin fa ye the taxes yi kunye wa hin. Be ma cho wa hin fa.
Why you have a system?
Where is he? He has not come to say anything.
On how ne na na kwia.
Who dey jano? I mean
what can we dey you move in kasa na.
I mean we have anything. Yeah. Taxes. What is he saying about it? Nipa was one me magia taxes. Me time or class as am na me na kakra, but I said okay. If they say that he's a tax messiah, I mean whoever the economic messiah, let him be. Let's see what he's going to do. Gradually, 2018, 2019, I gave them some leeway. Afe nwaba, yensha de ebeko. But with time, adiana jiegu. Ayi kase ayi omo solve doom. So you see, in same way ni say work. Because o kase you na solve doom, so then you tell me say me the plant A, plant B. Early power men am de buy. Ameri men am de buy. Aska men am de buy. Otemase, Asogli phase 2 men am de buy. So what catch me say solar. You cannot put solar into the grid. Solar cannot be put into the grid because it brings up the tariff. You have to have a feed-in tariff. And feed-in tariff is high. So solar you cannot put in. The solar is mainly used for a friend is a households. And if there is a policy, say to bring down the electricity price and say in Crawford see a naya as estate developers, no, as a part of a policy and a condition, no, add solar to it. What I say? So that if you need solar panels, so near my solar need power, no, maybe 60% of your power consumption will be solar. So that the pressure on the grid will be reduced. These are some of the things they should be thinking about. And yes, they're always taxing us. Equia taxation is too much. Equia, have you been to the pump? Petrol. Now what 200 Ghana. No the good moana esi.
Na gauge na movie.
Or the good man esi o. Me 100 Ghana and maybe you bet me afford you. But you need to also go home. As I said, we call Juma. I mean, what is all this? Mimi believes them. Ayiba umiano so person obey Juma na Ghana for yen to vote of no confidence in him. Ni enyi no one can concentrate on the flag bearer ambition. Because they say otiwe ye omie no ye hu obia. He says something another ye hu no babia. The ye come be as if the country is on autopilot. Obia ni ho a wo hwe se ne ade ni siko. Nti ye kasa country na jija. Party si won ti bi da. Hwensema ekoso. I mean, tax is still and then in the year that's COVID tax. Yes, COVID tax, no, yeah, the water and electricity. Fine, won't me more be water and electricity. I won't yaka because I better bring a gap into the finances of the utilities. ABY, you Auditor General's report by it is standing in the books of the utilities. I buying at the Womoka. I buying the utilities for free water, free electricity. So the COVID tax in there, no transparency. Almost mean can't say so far for almost 3-4 years I COVID taxing accrue to 1 million Ghana cedis. Obia mahu account to be Ebia, what kind of life is this?
Yo, mamina must say,
Ebia, me can be you.
Tiawana,
Enti me deba no.
Ebia, me ko you.
Omubisa said DNA in the energy sector. Some know what I say. Aban Way has already signed AXA 1, 370 megawatts.
AXA is still AXA.
I'm saying, make come back. Emma AXA 2. Nama, once a man can be so said they are just trying to heckle and distract me. So that make come by ye. Now then, I count the Mamma Manona Maman come there. It's not fair. And they just came to heckle me. I am saying, say, Aban Biaba, a brano. By law, who he answer or added to the capacity. Because here pre-industrialization, ne niamano, ninano, ebema ye demands, ne ekosro. When we talk about over 5,000 megawatts, we don't need all. We have excess capacity. We have had excess capacity since President Kofo's time. They were mentioning about Asogli Nitiko. Mahama na di Asogli buy. Mahama na di Bui Power buy. Or other intina na nama men kamasem. Meso. Okay, enti ABY can't make every time you excess capacity you pay to because aban we buy no you see you pay industrialization agenda be companies be factories man no ko Ghana fana baby ano e power no mu behia who introduce gear deck who hear a lot in the industries na e here high power no energy no mu here. But that is not the only thing in the energy sector. Let me quote Honorable John Jinapo for you. Joy FM Super Morning Show so no bekan on 26th October 2016, 6 weeks to election. Or say frankly, I'm quoting from Joy FM Montimo Boa Mensomeboa. Money is a challenge. Quotation in answer, it is true, says Sikasamunti Dadumsom. This is in relation to Jumso. I'm quoting from your platform, they have fact checkers. And Honorable John Jinaponekai. That being said, I'm saying it confirms Asama Yakan said Ghana has never had a capacity problem. Sikana Neniwa or Mudibe top fango, Ediago machines, and Tina Dasumu. And that being said, and almost a program, but I won't keep quiet and let them heckle me and spoil the program. And I am telling you, sir, as a matter of fact, ABY, some know what I say. Maka 4 times, still they don't want to listen, say at the PV is 400 megawatts, a good blue power, so see I can say, and your green book na me kind, and your drawing, me so quiet guso, me tina hands so no. I mentioned, what are you talking about? Me tina ha, me bosu, ekacho say kalio. they are not on your friend is saying hydro or thermal. They are strictly on solar, 13 megawatts. Metna and Laura, they are on 4 megawatts. Maka AXA 1 and 2. That's not just that. When you say in terms of energy transmission, Energy Minister ni Gridco announce dum CSA unim sa because Millennium Challenger can compare to the emusika over 300 million. Every year say ye the CSA lines are higher dada ama ye lose power. And no being so soon as say Kwabenya substation Accra Central do omo commission na nsenya Kaswa out of 65 abanwe bo omo the 3 na aka ho say beya ye betimi ama enkrofo be enya uninterrupted and omo benya reliable power supply and ye kana energy ministry kwa announce severally say omo the even nuclear energy ka ho they are done with the processes omo selective vendor so that ye benya cheaper energy.
You know what nuclear energy
and so omo tia so omo nte
Yadamase Ebusia and Emaniensa and Yaniwo Esi Edra Deputy Minister Information Ministry Fatima to Abubakar and Nanaya Achempim Jantua Nanakria Ewo Hase Nana Ose Waseda Nkoma hifo
mi lusu me papa o nti Saturday mi koye yie wo Kumase nti mi fie yie mu na maba so MPP for die se na omotia ne die se ye
me pacho me ma ne mfa so me ye politics
kasa enti maminda George oye ejiso constituency secretary
announcement
na minda Paulina Jemfua ejiso constituency women organizer na minda Mrs Juliana Amwakono Watakrade oye YPF NDC professional forum deputy director na min sign da NDC fo nyina se wo mo reach out to me wo mo be support me Dominic Kesi a champion any ejiso constituency vice chairman ono de me manager ono no manage me wo be so hu me a wo be friend no be ma we hu me na min da me sisters name me brothers madam for four wo mo be ja me papa yie na ya jantoa of mommy emotional support very 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 supportive minda obia
bacho me wa announcement me mane yako na na pia me ma yako ba me pacho me wa announcement kakra so
oboa me pa honorable defame
wait there 5 seconds
me that's why etie for 2024 we dey say ye tutia MPP womu po ye betu
Ebusia ene emu amati aseda na nakua ene de na aseda ba no honorable tia one
ABY we there wadaroma mu amunim the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party and Vice President of the Republic, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. Anya me adoma 2025 for be Ghana member. Osi amfanto Ghana for nyina anim. Senya me adoma 7 February 2024. Baumia speaks. Eye program a ya hyehyɛ a wode na nisuade hunu na komapa a ya da be ne say selfless leadership and bold solutions for the future ebeba so live ewo Kofi Ohene Konadu auditorium ewo UPSA yenim san krofo beji twi akopie honom akotie nsempa all media houses so befa mo biate that's it. Honorable 7 February 2024. Omumebo echidom. No munte omaso. No munte nsempa. Ye incoming president inshallah.
Damasene announcement ne mo amode abebo nana. So the only announcement be away. And nyame ma ye china. That's it. Nyame ma ye china.
Oh announcement ni wa wo se
ye wo interview se si anti ma ye fancy na interview no ntumi emetina so. Me damase. Na Champion Jantua, former General Secretary ma CPP Amanyuko no ebeboa esada so na Nanakria Avle NDC Communication Team Member, Deputy Minister Information Ministry Fatima to Abubakar medamu nyina se menuama no medamase mesumidi e de akua boache wa yi adom producers no Dominic Kisi ebo akwakutum Jackson Osei Ntiamwa wonumo ene church eboaye emadwumadi mitumi edebremo Bengazi Edna edimitum live wo Facebook and YouTube na Kezi Osei so church abusia Philip Osei bonsu ene omanhene bo michidom madam ase ma monitia munyimfo na yemfa ensi ya nyame ya adom a ochina Philippus Ebunsu ebeba beto aso ene maku no emeku no mba pa ye de mo asiase medamase mami famo esi me famo esi heya na yenko to aso with sports ye de ebrem ye de sports night no to aso